Hello everybody. What do we think about my new look? Stunning, isn't it? I just need you to know that I do have a tube top on. But listen, recently the Met Gala went down. There were so many gorgeous makeup looks that came out of the Met Gala. I was just sitting there. I just adore scrolling through all the red carpet looks from the Met Gala. I'm obsessed, and there were so many beautiful makeup looks. And there were a few that I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna recreate this instantly. Until I realized that Madame Katie Jane Hughes was there for her first Met Gala doing Dua Lipa's makeup. And Dua Lipa is a gorgeous, gorgeous, stunning creature. And every time Katie does her makeup and posts it, I believe she's been touring with her over the last long while, and she just absolutely knocked it out of the park. And what I loved about this look is that it was something that us mere mortals could possibly recreate at home. It was such a natural, beautifying look. She posted a carousel, and they did a little collab post. They did a YSL collab post because Dua Lipa is a YSL ambassador. So whenever they do that, I'm always like, give us the tea, give us the details on the rest of the products you used. But she did share a few of them, and then we're just gonna have to kind of try to guess what the rest of them are. But I was so happy for Katie Jane Hughes. I didn't realize she'd never done a Met Gala red carpet before, and she's just been killing it. And I feel like she's finally getting her flowers, and we've been such a fan for such a long time. So I was like, oh, I must absolutely attempt to recreate this look. And I'm laughing to myself at the start of this because I also tried to do the hair. I had tried to take some tendrils and do all these little rapidy things by the darling Peter Lux hair here. Oh my God. I was sitting in the bathroom for so long, and I'm like, listen, this is probably those like ballroom crazy goopy gels that they blow dry and stick to the head. Like, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to do this myself. So we're just gonna have to do our little Daphne Bridgerton bun. I let out my little flippity baby hairs here, and we'll be playing with that later, so just ignore them for the meantime. But anyway, I was thrilled to try and recreate this look. I'm such a huge Katie Jane Hughes fan, and I thought it would be fun to incorporate a few of her very viral, popular tips as well, because she is so giving on the internet with all of her knowledge, and she posts so much on her TikTok and her Instagram. I believe she's also posted, yeah, she posts on YouTube too, bless her. So yeah, just kind of like a little Katie Jane Hughes inspired, Dua Lipa Met Gala inspired makeup look today, and let's dive right in. So one of the things I love about Katie Jane Hughes is that she is a huge believer in using the products that you have and trying to play as much as you can with makeup and use the things that you have on hand. So at first I was like, oh, I'm gonna run out and buy all of the products. But I was like, we got a lot of makeup here. We can make do with what we have for sure. So obviously I'm using a little combination of my Haus Labs foundations, and this is where we're gonna begin. So I put the two shades here in the palm of my hand. And one thing that Katie Jane Hughes has been screaming about from the rooftops is to prime the brush. So she always uses her hand as her palette, and she takes her brushes and she buffs them in. But the one thing that I didn't realize, she said, I'll usually do this, I'll do a little dip, and then I'll put it on my hand. And she was like, no, you want to buff the product into your hand until you can't see the product on your hand anymore. Now obviously I can like see it in my lines a little bit, but the point being that once you've like buffed it enough, that's when the product is ready to apply onto the face, and that will ensure that you're using the tiniest amounts. It's going to look natural as possible. If you're using a product that has more coverage, then you can really use those tiny bits and layers to control how much of the product is actually going onto your face. And I think we're all like, right now I've got this crazy weird, actually it looks not so bad in the camera, which is nice, but I have a few remnant rashes and breakouts, and I instantly want to take all the coverage, pour it onto my face, and just put that sheet over it. But I think that you would be surprised at how little it actually takes to cover the spots on your face. So if you have some redness, if you have some discoloration, if you have some active acne, like, you really only need a tiny bit of product to plop it right on there, and as long as you're setting it in properly, that should be all you need. So just that constant reminder of less is more, using less product. It's gonna last so well on the face, look so natural, be undetectable on the skin. There's nothing I hate more than doing a face of makeup and stepping outside in the light and just seeing like crusted chunks of makeup on my face. So I love to follow along with the makeup artist tips because I feel like they really do that the best and really champion that idea. Anyway, this is a little bit warmer because I wanted to give myself a bit of warmth, so I'm just gonna make sure to take that down my neck. Obviously Dua Lipa has a gorgeous, gorgeous deeper skin tone than I, and she has the most glorious skin. Oh my gosh, Katie Jane Hughes was also in her Vogue video, the Vogue Met Gala, getting ready with Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa was like, and this is my makeup artist, Katie Jane Hughes, and I literally screamed for her. I was like, that is so cool. She's probably like, yeah, girl, I do this all the time. It's no biggie, but I feel like anyone would be like excited to be in a Vogue getting ready video. That's so cool. I'm just so excited for her, and she's doing great things, and she has for a long time. But anyway, her little high Vogue was so cute. So cute. Okay, so I used a tiny amount of that. I still have so much product left over on my hand, buffed a very fine layer all over my skin, and look at that. we have so much coverage already. Now I'm actually gonna leave the base there to kind of sit and settle in because Madame KJH also says that you can always start a makeup look out by doing your lips and your eyes first to give you an idea of what your face is looking for. Obviously we're following a look today, so it's not gonna be the same kind of vibe, but I kind of love that idea just in case you make any mistakes. You won't end up over applying any base products if you already have the kind of depth that you're looking for in your eyes and your lips. So I think that's a good place to start. Now I had gone out and picked up one of the eyeshadow palettes that KJH wrote in the caption that she used for the look, but I was like, honestly, she said she used a glitter, and I was like, maybe I'll just return that and I will just use my Makeup by Mario palette, because I feel like other than that, it's just some nice, simple, very light browns. I was actually really surprised at how light this entire makeup look was, which is what I am just so drawn to, obviously. So I think we're just gonna leave that and we'll use the things that we have on hand, because a brown shadow is a brown shadow, doesn't matter what palette it's in. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my concealer and I'm gonna use this to prime the eyes because I do have quite a bit of discoloration. And I will say KJH also discusses frequently about how she likes to leave a lot of the discoloration and the darkness on the eyes because it just acts like a natural shadow. But mine's actually quite blue and that's not the look that we're going for. So I'm just going to put a little wash of this on with a small eyeshadow brush. This is basically just going to be a KJH fangirl video, by the way, because I was just thinking about the first time I ever met her was when she did I think it was a Vino. She had come to Toronto with a brand to do a masterclass, and I was so excited because at that time I had already been following her for so long and I was so excited to meet her. And I learned so much from that little masterclass that she did, and I had actually filmed a video at that time and it was one of my favorite videos I ever filmed, and she's the one who finally made me go and buy the Tom Ford shade and Illuminate, and she's just so fantastic and she's so willing to help. She's so cool. She was literally like answering people's lives. I can't remember what she titled it, but she made like a Katie Jane News hotline where someone could tag her on TikTok and she would go in and respond and help them do their makeup, and I'm like, ugh, you are just such a giving soul. So let's go in with these light shades here, obviously, because I'm much lighter than Dua Lipa. I think whatever I would be doing would be much lighter regardless, and it looks like there's a little bit of a halo eye going on. So we're just gonna be applying this shadow to the outer third of the eyelid. I'm just gonna do a little bit just so I can see how much I'm looking for here. Yeah, they went quite deep in this. So you're gonna do the outer third and the inner third. I was trying to determine whether or not she had any eyeliner going on or if it was just like really soft shadow, because she could have done a lot of this with an eyeliner too, but again, she didn't specify, so we're just kind of trying to make it up as we go. But I was so inspired from that last makeup artist tips video that we did, and just using these really light, soft transition shades, barely a few shades lighter than my natural skin tone, because usually when I'm doing something like this, I would instantly go for the deeper shades, and I was so pleasantly surprised at how effective it was with just very light, soft shadow. So I'm going to continue to do that today. Usually I feel like I can tell if eyeliner has been used, but like I actually really can't. It looks so clean. We could take a little bit, just grab any kind of brown liner. I'm just gonna remove it from the pencil. Oh, is that dry? Oh, okay. I'm just gonna take a little bit on my hand. And this tiny little number 23 Refer brush. I'm just gonna take this a little bit into the lash line. Literally, I'm just gonna press it onto the lashes, because I think if there was anything done, it could have just been the tiniest little amount just to add some depth to the lashes. It's so much easier to do this when I'm not filming because I need both my hands and I almost never do it. I'm always trying to hold my mirror while I do it, but sorry guys, I just need to like really wiggle in here because this is gonna give us the most natural look. If we just take a tiny little bit, like literally onto the waterline, you need to flip your eye up and open and literally wiggle it into the lashes. I look crazy for sure, but that's the way to do it to look the most au naturel. So we can also do a tiny little bit of that on the lower lashes too. It looks like there's nothing on her waterline, so I'm just literally taking a tiny little touch of this. I feel like that did make quite a difference actually. I feel like I've barely put anything on my eyes and they're very darkened. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper with the shadow, just a tiny little bit. It does look like she's got a little bit of depth just right here on the outer third. So I'm just patting that really softly onto the lid and then blending that out just to add a little bit more depth and dimension. Nothing too crazy. Boop, 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 right there. That made such a difference, and I hardly used anything. Like they're really light shades. But adding that depth in the lashes too, you guys, I love it. Sorry, I need to do that on my lower lash line too. Just take that light brown and just run that along the lower lashes. Okay, we'll leave it there for now. I think I need some eye drops because my eyes are already turning red. You guys, Lumify sent me a PR package the other day and I was like, this is my dream PR package. I had just bought my giant value size from Costco and then I got backups from Lumify PR and I was like, Lumify, I love you so much, thank you. Okay, then she's just got a strip of shimmer through the center of her eye, and Katie Jane Hughes in her caption wrote that she used a glitter from her kit. So I was like, okay, Katie. The most glittery glitter that I have is this Valentino Dream Dust in the shade 2. It kind of looks like it's a similar shade. So we could use this. If it doesn't work and it goes awry, we can always use the Patrick Ta, which isn't gonna pack a same punch. Actually, maybe we'll just do this on top just so we can show the difference. This is the We Need Better Lighting Duo. I'm just mixing the 2 shades on my hand and we're just gonna pat that on the center. That was quite a bit, actually. But just in the middle, basically, where we didn't place the shadow. We put the shadow on the outer thirds, and then we're just gonna pat that in the middle. Keep your eyeshadow brush on hand so we can just kind of soften the edges. But that was it. It looks like she brought it right up to the eyebrow. Just like a little smear of shimmer. I actually think that's really pretty. We could definitely maybe add some glitter. We could save the glitter for the end if we wanted to add more, but this is actually really nice. And it makes it also a little bit more wearable if you just wanted to wear this for a fancy night and you wouldn't have to like use a glitter glue or anything. It just kind of makes it a little bit more user-friendly, which I always love. And I do think that you still get the same effect. It's also really hard to tell exactly what is done when it's always flash photography. Like your makeup will show up so differently in a flash photo versus how it is just like sitting here in the light. It's gonna have a crazy difference. So it is hard to tell when all the photos are flash, but this is pretty clear. I mean, it's pretty clear. I actually think that's nice. I'm sorry, I take it back. I don't know if I'm gonna use the glitter because my only fear is because I don't have any glitter glue, it might just like sprinkle everywhere. So I think that gives the same vibe depending on the light. Okay, going in with mascara, they use the YSL Lash Clash. I've got some Lancome mascara on hand, so I'm gonna use that. I don't even know if she used fake eyelashes. I think Dua Lipa's just blessed with these giant, beautiful fan lashes. So I'm gonna follow suit. Love that, love a natural lash. I'm gonna apply a lot though because it does look to be like big and chunky. Try not to do what I just did and get it all over your lid. I think this mascara is expired because it's flaking onto my face. So rude. All right, then I'm gonna use my little Annabelle Skinny Mascara and put this on the lower lashes because she's got some big old lower lashes, very emphasized in this makeup. Woo! Okay, those are some big poppin' lashes. It looks so funny with none of the rest of my makeup done. Let's move on to the base. I'm gonna use a little bit of bronzer. Now, Madame KJH also is a big fan of underpainting. She's got a very, very gorgeous, glowing, very tanned base. I'm obviously a bit more pale, so I'm not gonna go as intense with the bronzer. I am gonna use very, very light amounts, but you guys will get the general idea. Take a little bit on the jawline as well. And KJH also once said that when you're applying bronzer, it's also kind of applying another layer of coverage. So doing that before you go in and finishing up the coverage with concealer, it just makes it so that you use less product again. So I'm gonna take my Armani Luminous Silk Concealer, just place a bit of that onto my hand, and then I thought I simply have to use my KJH Spectrum brush. This is number 10, and so I'm going to prime the brush, really work that product into the brush, and go ahead and apply some concealer. So starting out around the eyes where I had just wiped all of that away. I might have to do some spot concealing on that one. It was a very angry spot. But I love how KJH uses very small brushes. Also, this collection and collab that she had done with Spectrum was so great. It was so game-changing for me for such a long time, and I think so many of us. And I've been so excited seeing her tease her KJH brand brushes that she's going to be launching. The base ones look incredible. Another thing to note with makeup artists is they always use the softest, lightest hand. I've had my makeup done a few times by professional makeup artists and it feels like they're doing nothing. You just feel like this soft little nothing tickle. Whenever I do my own makeup, I always end up scrubbing so hard on my face and I just need to remind myself, oh, use a little bit of a lighter hand, you crazy girl. Honestly, I think I'll leave the concealer there. I love how the base is looking very natural, very lived in. Again, you know what's so funny, in my opinion, with the red carpet makeup is that so often these celebrities who are being shown, they just have such flawless complexions. They probably do have very little coverage on, and their skin's just glowing, especially Dua Lipa. Such gorgeous skin. I'm gonna do a little bit of blush layering. I thought it would be a tragedy if I didn't use KJH brand blush for this. So this is the shade Soft Raisin. I'm gonna put a little bit of this onto the palm of my hand as well. And she said she made this to not be a glowy blush. It is a very soft matte blurring blush. So when you apply it, it's gonna have that very natural soft blurring effect. Now, the blush on Dua Lipa, she had it sitting really high. So I'm actually just gonna kind of hug my cheeks right here and tickle across my nose because that's what it looks like she's done. It's kind of that very doll-like blush application. So I'm trying not to go too high because yeah, there's like no blush around here. Normally I would kind of bring it up and around onto my eye, but she actually just has that flush sitting right here. This is actually looking so much like the blush that she has on. Because it has that soft blurring effect, it's kind of adding another layer of coverage on itself, which is so nice. What you can do is go back in with your concealer brush, just always have that on hand, and kind of press that in between the layers to make the line between your concealer and your blush less obvious. So just a little touch just kind of softens that and makes it look less intense. Oh, I totally said I was gonna do my lips before and then I didn't. Sorry. Okay, now I know KJH is a fan of the Charlotte Tilbury setting powder, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a fluffier brush with that. And I'm just patting this into my hand, and I'm gonna go ahead and place that just onto the center of my face. Really, really softly, lightly setting that in. And I'm using a larger, fluffier brush. It's not as dense as the rest of my base brushes, so we'll just give that really soft, natural touch of powder. So the powder blush was the YSL number 44 Make Me Blush, which is such a gorgeous shade. And I think I'm actually gonna take a big fluffy brush and apply that just really, really softly. I'm just gonna dip it in and remove most of it, and then I'll just really softly brush that over. Whenever I watch videos of makeup artists applying powder blush, they literally look like they're applying nothing. It looks like nothing. They're just barely kissing the face. And when you layer up cream and powder blushes, you're getting that bam, that impact, and it's also going to set in that color and hopefully make it last a little bit longer too. And this shade of blush actually has a little bit of glow in it, and it doesn't look like she has too much highlight around the rest of her face. It's actually quite just like a soft matte finish all over, and then it's very glowy from within. So it could just be enough with this powder blush itself. It's so pretty. I never place my blush just right here, but I actually really like it. It's very natural sun-kissed finish. I think that's nice. Let's use some setting spray. Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. Now for the lips, I did want to actually pick up the shade that she did use. She said she used the YSL Love Shine 207 Scenic Brown. She said she also used the shade 15, which I thought I had somewhere. But I felt like we could accomplish what we want with just the one. So I thought it would be a sin to not use Makeup Forever Endless Cacao for doing a Katie Jane Hughes makeup, because she made this one famous across the globe. And it's that perfect, true, cool tone shade that you can use as a lip liner, but more so you can use it to actually create shape and dimension on the lips. So I'm applying it and then I'm really softly blending that in with my finger. And I'm just bringing dimension back to my lips. Adding a little bit of plump, adding a little bit of pout. KJH is the queen of overlining her lips. Oh, her lips always look so succulent and good. And she has used this so much. And even this on its own is so pretty. So I have no idea if she actually used this in the makeup look. I just thought, KJH inspired, let's put it on. God, I don't know why I actually don't use this more. I need to remember to put that on. Okay, let's use this 207 Love Shine. I actually was so curious what the difference was between this and their original lipsticks. Apparently these are the same as their old Rouge Volupte lipsticks, but they've just made it with 24-hour hydration. So it's all the same shades apparently have been redone into this formula. I love YSL lip products. The smell is crazy. They have been my favorites for so long. It's like my most coveted lip product. I don't know what it is. I find them so special and so pretty. And sorry, I went straight in and applied that from the bullet, but I figured I should do it in true makeup artist form and apply that with a small brush. Oh, it really, honestly, that does look like the lip. Oh my God. The combo is so nice with the Endless Cacao. You guys. No, that's so pretty. Of course it is. Of course it is, it's Katie. Are you seeing that color? It like looks so dark in the bullet, but because it's such a shiny, balmy, succulent, juicy shade, it just adds that gorgeous wash of color. Oh, that is so pretty. It just looks like a melted, lived in nude. How divine. The other product that I thought would be really nice and kind of in that same line would be the Summer Fridays Rosewood Nights lip oil. If you want a little bit more shine, this is like that same shade. So if you already had something like this, very, very similar. I've been neglecting my eyebrows. I'm gonna take my Valentino Brow Trio and fill my brows in. Dua Lipa has the most fabulous, bushy, beautiful, natural brows ever. So I'm gonna try and do a really nice, big, fluffy, feathery brow. Just set those brows in. I'm gonna do it like this way so that they're nice and big and fluffy. I mean, hers are very sleek, but I'm gonna do that to try and make mine look a little bit more full. I think this might be one of the best makeup looks I've ever done. I feel like I say that a lot, but like really, really, really. It's like so natural and lived in, but it's still, I don't know, it packs a punch. Okay, I have to figure out the hair now. The other product that I pulled out was my Patrick Ta Body Glow All Over Glow Balm. I've got all the limbs out, so I know people buy those like big body brushes. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna use my hands. My built-in brushes. I'm just gonna put that all over. It wouldn't be a red carpet inspired makeup look if we didn't put something on the chesticles, would it? It smells delicious. Then the shirt I'm wearing actually has a little neck piece, so we can do that. It'll give us the vibe. And then I also have gloves. I was like, she's wearing gloves, let's put gloves on. Why not? It's fun. I'm getting dressed up at home. What the heck? And then she's got a big giant ring on too, and I have my big Jenny Bird silver ring, and I want to be like, yes, it's me, Dua Lipa. I love you, Dua Lipa, so much. Okay, let's see if we can finagle these. Hey, that stayed! I was trying to make a little curl with my sideburns. That one didn't work. Oh well. Like I said, I couldn't do the hair exactly, so we're just gonna go for the vibe, aka my Daphne Bridgerton hairstyle. And with that, my friends, the look is complete. I actually feel like I just got ready for a ball. This hair is very much giving ball bun, but actually, I like it. Guys, we're learning! So this is my makeup look inspired by the excellent magical look that Katie Jane Hughes created on Dua Lipa for the Met Gala this year. I would love to hear what you guys think. Using a few of her tips, using a few of our beloved favorite products, I'm obsessed with this makeup look. It's very wintry, honestly, but that's okay. We'll just ignore that and pretend like we've just gotten ready for the ball. Make sure to have your airy princess hands. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. If there are any other looks that you would like to see me recreate here, please let me know. And shout out to you, Katie Jane Hughes, for being our makeup artist genius and muse forever. We love you so much. Thank you so much for being here and for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for a new video. Bye!